Ruthless Ronaldo just saw the title. Disgraceful when Arsenal battle what it is. Welcome to the match report, of course, by Free in Midfield. Cahill, Kojo are here. How you doing, Kojo?
All good. It's been a nice weekend, so can't complain. How you doing?
Not too shabby. Can't complain myself, especially with the results there. Basil. It's a beautiful day, isn't it, Basil? It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful week.
Wait, I can't hear you. It's the Champions League theme song.
It's coming.
Wow.
Don't worry about it. It's there. It's in. We can see. We can almost reach it. It's almost there.
I'm just hearing. Let me turn down the Champions League theme song just to hear you a bit. We're coming back home.
It's coming back home. There we go. That's what we use. Absolutely. Flawless.
Home. I'm good. Home. What's coming home?
What do you mean home?
I'm just asking a question.
Acting like we weren't in it for like 22 yees in a row.
You were in it for 22 years. How many times did you win it in that 22 years?
I prefer not to speak on that question.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. I prefer not to speak. I hear that, man. Yeah, you might pick up participation trophy. I respect it, though, innit? Larger
participation trophy.
Yeah, right, man. Larger Arsenal, man. Big up you lot.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Just because you're not there, you're not going to be there next year when Ronaldo bounces as well. But it is what it is. It is. It smells like success in here. So I'm gonna go to Raiyaan. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Cheers for the invite, man. You know, is it my first time on the channel? I don't even know, but
I think he's. Oh no, it is the first time. Yeah, you're right.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it probably is. I mean, the fact you had to bring me on at the same time as the guy next to me is like, it could have been a different week, I guess. But like,
can't lie to you, bro. I have been watching the show and I have been watching the pro clubs. So this was planned. Don't worry.
Man, so you know what, Ryan? You're welcome in it. You know what I'm saying? And I kicked down doors so you could walk through. You're welcome. You know what I'm saying? You're welcome
as well.
You know what I'm saying? You're welcome. You know what I'm saying?
You're
I kicked down doors in it. I walk so you could run. You feel me? And you're welcome.
Wow.
Honestly, this guy, man.
And this is why I wanted them on together. This is lovely.
There we go. We're gonna leave the big one to last, so our guest may have some time to join us. Hopefully she can arrive in time for that discussion. Of course, that will be Manchester United 3, Tottenham 2, and we need a Tottenham fan on this podcast today. We definitely need a Tottenham fan on this podcast today because we are celebrating in the North London Reds. Anyway, but we'll start, of course, with another big team who's in a bit of a dire situation. Chelsea 1, Newcastle 0. Dire situation. There's like a Saudi lining up to buy them. So not so dire, but it is what it is, man. They beat Newcastle 1-0. The battle of the billionaires, which is pretty much every game in the Premier League these days. But no, a 1-0. Let's get who scored that goal. It was
Kai Havertz.
Oh yeah, of course, with a lovely finish from a Jorginho assist. Now let's start with that one, Kojo. Let's start with that one because that was a fantastic goal. You have to give it up to them. 89th minute, clutch. Kai Havertz has been clutch. That's what you can put up next to his name, right?
Absolutely. I mean, firstly, I'm a big fan of both players. So Jorginho's passing range is something that is actually incredible. You know, you can find passes from anywhere. And the ping on that. Now, Dan Burn was obviously, pardon the pun, burning because he sort of reacted really late to the pass. Like, he didn't move whatsoever. And then when he realized Havertz was on his bike, it was way too late for him to make that recovery. That's why he was so gutted at the goal. But
he didn't realize he didn't have Ben White next to him. That's why.
Missing his boy.
That's so fantastic. Shameless, you know.
So shameless, man. I respect it so much.
This is ridiculous. Go on, carry on. I didn't mean to interrupt. My apologies.
No, that's cool, man. But the pass was quality. But that first touch from Kai Havertz was sensational, and it's quickly and then again hit the ball so quickly past the goalkeeper. I mean, it's give him no chance to even such a short space, no chance to even press you. Just get the shot in behind him. It's fantastic. It was a wonderful goal, full of quality, and I think that's the one thing I love about Havertz. He did that at Leverkusen. You didn't see so much at Chelsea so far. You've seen it here and there, but his movement going into towards the box is top notch. His movement is really, really good, and if he can continue to start in that, I don't know, sort of false nine-ish role for Chelsea and get into those kind of opportunities, he'll get a lot more goals next season. So he's doing well so far. That's a great goal. Phenomenal goal.
It was a great goal. But on that sentiment, the false nine role, Basil.
Yeah.
Now they spent £100 million on a certain Belgian. And to be fair, it hasn't worked out for both parties, I would say. But if they're reverting back to a false nine role, isn't that, looking forward to the future, isn't that a bit concerning for Chelsea fans?
No, it's very concerning because when you think about it, they spent like 150 odd million on 2 strikers in 2 years and it just hasn't worked out. I mean, Bernard, I don't know what they're going to do with him because I don't even know whether he's even marketable for anybody to actually purchase him because he looks worse as the games go by. He looks like he's shot on confidence. I just don't know what's going on with him. And obviously him playing out on the left sometimes, it just doesn't work. Lukaku's getting his just desserts because ultimately what Lukaku needs to understand, the issue with Lukaku is his ego. Lukaku needs to humble himself and realize he's not as good as what he thinks he is. For me, he's a good striker. He has qualities that are very good, but qualities that makes him a systematic type of player because he's technically not the greatest. He's a messy dribbler, doesn't have like those fine touches with the ball. And what he realizes and what he doesn't realize is that unless the team is built for him, he's not a special player. Whereas he talks as though he can create opportunities for himself. He talks as though like he can win games on his own, which he just doesn't have the facilities to do for most of the time. And because of that, when he doesn't adapt to maybe what a manager wants him to do, he just doesn't understand because in his mind, he thinks he's better than he is. And I think that's where the issues come with Lukaku. And it's very bad when the manager's having to play in a false nine and you're, there. Isn't he the record signing, if I'm correct?
Yeah, he has to be 100 million.
He is.
That says a lot. And this is not his first rodeo in the Premier League. So he doesn't have the excuse that, I need to adapt to a new league. I mean, it's quite shambolic on his part that he hasn't managed to perform regularly this season. And obviously, if I go back to even when they played the Champions League game, he was on the bench there. And obviously, that's the matches that you're supposed to play your top players or your top strikers, and the fact that he couldn't even play in that game says a lot about the situation that's going on between him and Tuchel.
I mean, it seems like a sticky situation for both parties involved, man. Because it's not like they're going to be able to sell him flawless, is it? He's going to be there for the long haul. I don't know how long his contract is there, but they've got to find a system or some way to make it work.
Yeah, they definitely need to find a way because otherwise you take a massive hit on him. Do you cut your losses and go, all right, you sell him for half the price that you bought him for, and then decide? I mean, sell him for half the price you bought him for, and just take the L type of thing. And that's probably what I have to do because at the right price, somebody would buy Lukaku 110%. Just because of the amount of goals he scored, maybe not where Lukaku wants to go because he was talking Manchester City's, Real Madrid's.
He was so shameless with it.
Yeah, and what Basil was talking about was correct in terms of he's nowhere near as good as he thinks he is. Because why he believes he could go to one of those teams and play, I don't know. Like if you pull up at Real Madrid, you're on the bench. Like if you go to Bayern Munich, you're on the bench. If you go to City, you're holding bench. You've gone to Chelsea, you're holding bench. Like you have to know and there's nothing wrong with like self-awareness is key. And he did it at Manchester United. Like his lack of self-awareness and his insecurities is crazy, considering how many goals he scored. Could they get rid of him? Yes. And it's probably best for all parties because they're not happy. And he's not happy with him because it all kind of nosedived after the interview. And because the interview was in 2 parts as well, that's what made it worse. Because it originally dropped. Then you had some of the Chelsea fans defending him. Other Chelsea fans were like backing him. But then when the second one dropped, you can't really defend that. This guy did a sequel. Like you can't defend that. You can't defend that. Like there's no way. You can't just say, it's a one-off. And you went to go and speak to Sky Sports Italy. Like that's on you. You chose to do that. I don't understand still to this day what he was trying to accomplish at that point. If it was in the summer and he was trying to engineer it and move away, I'd understand. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got certain English strikers walking around golf courses with Gary Neville and that. But the media swept that under the rug. But I would understand it more in the summer. But like it's the middle of the season. See out the season with Chelsea. You still have the chance to win something with Chelsea. They're still in the Champions League, still in the FA Cup as well. So you could have been a part of something. So, but yeah, I think it's best for all parties if he does leave in the summer.
Do you know what, Flawless? He tried to call their bluff because he realized that he's the only striker there, and so he thought he could do that interview because there's no replacement. They will still play him, but it's backfired on him. Because it was at the point where it's like, if I need to play midfielder there, you do so just to prove a point, and that is what has happened.
And that comes into the self-awareness as well, because it's like you just joined a team that won the Champions League. What makes you think you're irreplaceable? I don't get that. It's not like they're a team that are trying to get there. They legit won. You watched them win the Champions League, and then you go there and think I'm going to be indispensable. Now you have a point to prove, because then players can look at him and go, "We were fine without you, and we'll be fine after you." You know what I'm saying? So I don't, but again, lack of self-awareness in it. And everybody was talking about, Lukaku's changed. He's a better player. He's the same Lukaku.
Yeah.
It's the same Lukaku. He's improved to the day. It's the same guy. I watched him in the Euros. So I say all the time, he's better in the front. He can't play up front by himself in the modern day era. Like him facing goal with spacing behind, he'll kill you 110%. But holding the ball up and all that, that's not his game. We all know the obvious deficiencies in Lukaku's game. And the way Chelsea are trying to play, it don't work for Lukaku or them.
Fair play. But we kind of skip over, and we will get to those controversial talking points of the game, of course. But Newcastle, they held their own for 89 minutes of the game, Ryan, and that's something to be very proud of. I'd say as a one for Eddie Howe, considering that he's not had the best run in the Premier League, but this season, this Newcastle side, he's doing quite well with them, and two for Newcastle, considering where they want to be.
100%, man. Like especially considering the position they were in December and their first half of the season, how, let's be honest, how shambolic it was, to be honest. Where wasn't it they didn't win a game for ages. I think they were the only side at one time to have not, in the whole of the UK, to have not actually won a game in the top 4 leagues, which is just crazy. But you always knew that kind of transfer window after the takeover was it's going to be kind of like their insurance policy at the time. Like that was the thing that you were backing on, saying that and they did appoint a good coach in Eddie Howe, who I know he got relegated with Bournemouth in the end, but the fact he kept them up, that Bournemouth team, pretty much spending no money, and a kind of an average team on paper as well, in the Premier League for about 4 or 5 seasons, I think it was, playing really good football. You know, he's a very good coach. And the signings they made as well, very intelligent signings. You're getting, Chris Wood, a Premier League proven striker. I know he scored his first goal, but he has made a difference to them. That Bruno guy in midfield looks really, really good. Trippier, I think, was a great signing. I know he's injured right now, but he's been effective and made an impact when he's played as well. So there's Matt Targett as well, another Premier League proven player. So they've been very intelligent in their business as well. And I think we all knew when they got those signings in that they were going to survive. And they've had some great results, man. And I think yesterday was it was their first kind of test against like a top side, in Chelsea with these signings and this team. And I have to admit, they played really well and they deserve to get something out of the game, to be honest. We'll probably get to the decisions in a bit, but they should have had a penalty absolutely at 0-0. And then it's a different game if they score that. So they were just unlucky yesterday. They more than held their own. And they showed that they're going to survive easily. And kind of after this season, the skies could be the limit for them with the amount of money they've got behind them now, man.
Absolutely. So you mentioned it there, but let's go to the decisions, coach, man. So I'm gonna play my best Arsene Wenger, do my best Arsene Wenger impression. I actually didn't see the Kai Havertz over, so I don't know what.
What? I ain't seen it either. I actually missed that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try and describe it for you. So you have two men challenging for the ball in the air. You have Dan Burn. Dan Burn's more in a stationary position, so he's going to jump up, leap up, whereas Havertz is on the run trying to get there. He's jumped up. Now, for me, to be honest, I don't think it's a red card. I think a yellow card was fine because his eyes are all on the ball. For me, his eyes are on the ball, his intentions on the ball, so he's jumped up and but the issue being his arms are here, and his arms are here. He's caught him right here on the side of the head. So with that being one being caught there, 2, he drew not a lot but a little bit of blood, and then number 3, obviously he needed treatment. That's why I can see why the calls were being made, but with the fact that his eyes were on the ball, and I genuinely believe there was no intention to elbow the man, and he's not gonna jump like a pogo stick. He's gonna jump up like this. He's gonna put your arms up in some way. And Dan Burn's a tall guy, so he has to compete on some level. I think that's why there was some anger, but I don't think it's a yellow card. A red card, sorry. I think it's yellow. I think that yellow is fine.
And clear and obvious decisions are the reason for VR's implementation in the Premier League. And if that wasn't clear and obvious, I don't know what is. What were VAR thinking with not giving a penalty for that? Was it Trevor Chalobah challenge?
Yeah,
Chalobah.
that's a stone wall as they come. Like they're talking about. Yeah, they're talking about there was no leg. I'm thinking the guy's pulling the way he's pulling his
two
shirt.
fouls in it.
Yeah, there's two fouls. He's even dragged his shirt back twice. He's dragged his shirt, went with him, and then dragged him back again even more. And then used his leg to get in front of him and foul him. And I'm just watching this in amazement. It's like, surely you got to give this a penalty. What? How much more do you want to do?
The worst thing about it is that he didn't even get the ball. I mean, that's the worst. It's like you can sort of, if it's one of those, maybe he's got a touch of the ball, you can sort of defend it. But it's like he's dragged him, we pulled him twice, then stuck out a leg, hasn't even touched the ball, and they said it's not clear and obvious. And then one of the reasons they said it wasn't a penalty was that they said the way he went down, like he didn't go down because of the way his shirt was pulled. Then I was like, hold on, then what was Xhaka's one against Bernardo Silva? Because
the shirt pulled, didn't he?
Yeah. Bernardo Silva he's thrown himself to the ground, and he wasn't. The way he went down wasn't because his shirt was pulled, because no one goes down in that manner if their shirt is pulled. And they gave that to City, and I'm like, hold on, this is a worse. You know what's happened here is worse than what Xhaka did to Bernardo Silva. But one was given and one wasn't given. It's ridiculous. The referee at Premier League level, and the thing that annoys me the most is that you've got the replays. I'm a normal fan, and I can tell you that's a penalty by watching those replays. So how can you, who's trained and done all your training and what certifications and qualifications to get here, not be able to make those decisions? You're better qualified than me, and I can make those decisions better than these referees. It's such a joke, really and truly.
I will add this though. So there's a Newcastle fans were obviously very, very angry at the decision, and they made a point which. So in August against Aston Villa, Callum Wilson was wiped out by Emi Martinez, wiped out. The referee that day, David Coote. In November against Brighton, Callum Wilson was hacked down by Sanchez, the goalkeeper, when he was free on goal. Mm-hmm. Referee didn't give anything, and then the referees at VAR overturned it in Newcastle's favour. But the referee that didn't give it, David Coote. And you go to Chelsea now. Obviously, the penalty that should have been a penalty, and the referee for that game also, David Coote. So they're feeling a bit they feel like there's an agenda going on against them right now.
Conspiracy.
Bro, some of the refereeing decisions over, especially recently, have just been shambolic like that. I don't even think that one's as bad as the Rodri handball a few weeks ago in the game. That was the worst one I've seen this season.
That's why there's no conspiracy or anything like that. They're just terrible at their job. That's what it is. They're just bad at their job, and they make it up as they go along. There is no consistency because they say, it has to be clear and obvious, but don't tell us what's classed as clear and obvious. And that's a whole gray area in itself, because what's clear and obvious to someone else might not be. We could all see the same challenge and all have a different view on it. Which one of us is right out of the five of us? One of us could say it's a red card. One of us could say it's a yellow card. One of us could say it's a foul, but it's not a booking. One of us could say it was a dive. The other one could say it's a dive and a yellow card. So who's right? They need to make it clear and obvious, actual clear and obvious as to exactly what it is. It needs to be no gray area. That's why they make it up. That Chalobah one, that's a penalty. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. If that happens in the center circle, it gets given. There's no debate whatsoever that that's a penalty. And they don't even come out and say as to why. And they've slowed it down and watched that and still went, no penalty.
Let me say two things. So one of the things that annoys is that Sky Sports also Dermot Gallagher comes on the next day, and all he does is just defend the decision.
He defends the refs all the time, man.
Ref union, man. It's ref union.
Ref watch. It's called ref watch, isn't it?
I'm like, that's ridiculous. Then the second one is, I think it was Darren T that mentioned it beforehand. The referees are run like a mafia, because the only reason why clear and obvious is there is to protect each other. What is clear and obvious? I'm like, if the refs made a mistake, is a mistake. Just say, all right, cool, you made a mistake, we're overturning the decision. Clear and obvious. What does that mean? It's like, we don't want to go against our own pal, so we say, it's clear and obvious. It makes zero sense. How can you have like the technology that works, but then you put like all these parameters against it to say, maybe we shouldn't make this decision because it makes our pal look bad. It's like, who cares? What we want is the right decision. It's an absolute joke, honestly.
That's what we care about. But like I said, it's refs union, and it's defending. We're all for one. Defend us regardless of that. Defend us. That's why he ain't going to be there, be honest. And they're his guys. They're his brethren, isn't it? And it shows. He always goes, he always makes excuses for the ref. It's ridiculous. It's
Even as an Arsenal fan, I'm surprised they didn't give us the penalty on the weekend. That's how much lack of faith I have in the referee.
Hey Basil, relax. We'll get to that one in a moment. But I mean, Flores made a great point about what clear and obvious means to a lot of us, because like you said, one tackle could be a yellow for one, and it could be a red for another. Mm-hmm. On that note, Brighton 0, Liverpool 2. Luis Diaz, should Sanchez have been sent off?
Yes, 100%. I don't get how that wasn't a red card.
Did he receive a card for that?
He got a booking.
He didn't even get a yellow.
Oh, he didn't get
yellow.
I'm sure he didn't get a yellow, man.
He didn't get anything at all, no.
I guess it's double jeopardy, I guess. Actually, no, he wasn't even a penalty.
Double jeopardy, you get a yellow card. You at least
no, but it's not even double jeopardy. Jeopardy is the fact that even if it's a goal, you can still give a red card for serious foul play because it's a bad. He's endangered an opponent. Man's like pretty much kung fu. I don't even know what it is. What he's done, but he's like fucking tried to kill him. That's what it was.
He did, man. That was might have been Karate Kid for Sanchez, man, because his leg was
legit.
I don't understand how you clothesline somebody with your leg. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense, but he done it. He done it regardless. But anyway, let's talk about the goals. Luis Diaz obviously got the opening one with a very brave header, and he got theirs, and he got the penalty, and he got the goal. So that's a good one. And then I think an obvious penalty. Yves Bissouma put his hands up and
handball,
pretty obvious. And Salah tucked it away, making it 2-0. Now we go to you, Ryan. I mean, is it happening? Quadruple Premier League. You won the Carabao Cup. You got the Premier League coming.
Look at Kojo's face there.
He wants to throw up. Champions League. I can't see anybody past you. And an FA Cup. You never know, man.
You know what? When you put it like that, like you did you say Champions League? You can't see anyone past Liverpool
in the two game leg. I don't know.
I look good.
Go on, Ryan. Don't be all nice because we are free in the midfield. Say it with your chest in it. You know what I'm saying? In that. Say it with your chest. Bear in mind, Ryan's not broke to be in it. So I know his thoughts on this. I'm going to see if he's going to lie to the masses. Go on. You know what I'm saying?
I've been saying quadruples for since September, innit? Since August, September times, innit? I've been saying quadruple, man. Legit, you can ask flawless, man. Honestly,
that's facts. But if the light switch flicks off or not, innit? Let City win today and Arsenal beat Liverpool on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever the player will be like. Ask him then. He'll be like, quads off. You know what I'm saying? Ask him Thursday if that happens. Quads off. Premier League title race is over. So we can't
let's focus on one. The Premier League. You got the win against Brighton, which is a tough round to go to, especially this season. Graham Potter's got them playing some beautiful football, but you absolutely dominated them. To be fair, kind of expected that because considering the firepower that you have, but a good win regardless.
Yeah, man. I mean, I actually went into the game nervous in it because Brighton away is one of those games where it's like you said, Graham Potter's got his they're on a bad run of form recently, but they have had a very good season so far, and they're a very hard team to get wins up at the end of the day. They play very good football, and recently in the games they've played against us under Potter, like the last 3 games, they've taken points off us. We haven't beaten it. They outplayed us at Anfield earlier on this season, should have won. And they outplayed us in both games last season. I think they won at Anfield last season, and they drew at their place against us last season, and they should have beaten us at their place. But so I went into this game nervous because I thought they've got a number on us still. But first 15 minutes the other day, they were the better team, but they didn't really create too much, to be honest. They didn't really create anything. But once we got the goal, great goal as well, great pass from Matip as well, and a very good header. But we just kind of took control from then, and we didn't really look in any danger after that. We got, we should have got more than 2, to be honest. We weren't really too clinical in the final third. The final ball weren't too great, but we were always pretty comfortable. We got the second goal, clear penalty. Salah put it away. Went off injured though. I don't know how long. I heard he weren't in training today, but even if he's out for Wednesday, we've got kind of enough attacking depth, I think, to be able to deal with that now, to be honest with you. But then, after we got the second goal, it was just pretty comfortable. They kind of came at us in the last 5-10 minutes, but they didn't really create anything too big then as well. Welbeck had a chance which Alisson saved, but that was it really. So yeah, it's just one of those wins. You just putting the pressure on City, man. We're 3 points behind them. Now same games played, better goal difference, and got to play them in a few weeks as well. So yeah, we're in a good position, man. We're on a really good run of form. We got a lot of confidence behind us as well.
So quad's on is what you're saying, innit? That's what we're hearing, innit? Reading between the lines, that's what you're telling us. Quad is there, yeah?
Cahill said I'm just talking about the Prem right now. Did you not hear?
No, see, now you backtracking. See how quickly you backtracked, innit? Quad's off now, innit?
Did I not say the quad is happening? But he just wanted to know about the Premier League situation first, man. That's what I was getting to before you really interrupted.
To be fair to him, I did specifically ask about the Premier League.
I'm just reading between the lines, innit? Just so we can revisit this at a later date. That's all.
Don't worry, we revisit it after we talked about it, because he was shaking his head after Ryan dismissed Arsenal. They have enough firepower to deal with us. That's right.
No, that's not a dig at Arsenal. I think even if Salah's out because of the signing of Diaz, and we've got a load of options up front now, good options that. Salah out will be a blow, but I think we've got enough to be able to deal with it against pretty much any side in the league, to be honest, not only Arsenal. Man, I'm happy, man. Premier, we're playing really well. It's a lot different to this situation last season where it looked like we wouldn't even get top 4. So and now we're in the only 4 we're interested in is 4 trophies now, innit? So that's it's a thing, innit, man? Like. From top 4 to 4 trophies, man, hopefully. But like Premier League, it's going to be tough at the end of the day because City are a great team as well. I hope they drop points today, though. I think tonight will be a tough game for them still.
Palace,
a
very tough game. Potential Istanbul for them as well. You never know. But then
again, I'd like to see that still, man. I like to see that, man. But
like to see it. Lawless, you're there, just shaking your head at every word that's coming out of Ryan's mouth, and You don't believe in this Liverpool side? What's going on?
That the Liverpool side is good. I just don't believe what Ryan's saying. That's what he is, because I know how reactionary he is.
Not believe what
that's all. Yo, like I said, let City win today. Let me see. Arsenal beat Liverpool. Bring him back on the show, and you're gonna get a different answer. I guarantee you.
When you the one who said Chelsea were going to win the league this season?
Yo, I thought he was going to win the league. You know what I'm saying?
And you said Liverpool were going to be in the title race.
I said it would go to even blue. Yeah, I'm saying I said it either goes to the blue in London or the blue in Manchester. That was my 2, and I still believe that. I still don't think you.
Don't you have to apologize to Klopp and Liverpool then for being actually proving
why
wrong?
For finishing second?
What?
You got rid of
going to be in a title race.
Yeah, all right. So take you if you want plaudits for getting in the title race, that's you, innit? You sound like the Arsenal fans plaudits for finishing 4th. Do your thing, innit? I only applaud trophies in that. If you want to applaud positions in the table, that's you.
You haven't applauded trophies in a while, though. Then
when was that trophy you had, man?
Yeah, we won a trophy with Ollie leaving. That was our trophy. You know what I'm saying? That was our trophy.
That's funny.
Wow,
that was our trophy. We won a trophy this season. You know what I'm saying?
A mediocrity trophy, yeah?
No, that's a over the moon trophy. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? That's better than that trophy Liverpool just won a few weeks ago.
Yo, man, champions of energy drinks. Yo, we're champions of energy drinks, man. Respect that, innit?
You man won that Okie Cup. Like, yo, it's what.
Sure, you man will kill for your club will kill for that.
Hey, give me Ollie leaving over that trophy. You know what I'm saying? We won a trophy this season. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And that Ollie leaving was the trophy. 110%. That was our trophy.
I mean, it looks like Coach was disagreeing with the quadruple talk, but I'm going to go to you, Basil, because you are level-headed here. You are level-headed. As an Arsenal fan and as a football fan, you are quite level-headed. So I'm going to go to you. Is it on? Is it a possibility?
Absolutely not. I think the best second look was a double, and that's the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup.
Rah.
That's the best second look for.
No.
Champions
League. When it comes to Champions League, you see other teams that just.
League definitely can't see it. Champions League definitely can't see it.
Why not Champions League? It seems like a competition would be a possibility for Liverpool.
I still think they're still a bit shaking that midfield, even though the front three. I generally think if they come up against a Bayern, and this is me personally, I think Bayern will take control of that game, and they have enough firepower to deal with Liverpool. Personally, I think if Liverpool come up against Chelsea, I think Chelsea can do them over 2 legs. Personally, like I said, I think Liverpool's a very good team. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see enough personally for them to go all the way.
I think, I hear what you say about the midfield, to be honest. I understand that because that's probably the one area in the squad which is kind of needs improving on in the summer for real. But I think with Thiago and Fabinho, I always say this, with Thiago and Fabinho in midfield together, it's so important we keep those two fit for the rest of the season. And it's a big if with Thiago in it, let's be real. But like, they're so good together when they play in midfield like that. And the record backs it up. I think they've won before the Inter Milan game. Every game Thiago had started in this season, he's won. We've won every game he started in before the Inter Milan game. So he's clearly had a big impact. And he controls games so much better when he's in the team for real. Like, we keep the ball so much better. We get attacked. And as a result, we get attacked less in it. And, that's going to be important at the end of the day. Like, let's say if we were to get Bayern Munich in the Champions League, that Thiago was the one who actually used to control games for Bayern himself. And now we've got him. So if he was to play in that game, that should give us more control than what we would normally have against a team like Bayern Munich. So I hear what you say about the midfield. But if we keep Thiago and Fabinho fit, then I don't see that being much of an issue, to be honest with you.
Not an issue.
Sorry. Before we move on, is no one gonna just rip into Brighton here? Or are we just giving them credit like that? They're playing nice football and they're a problem. I'm not having that.
Go for it, bro.
Sorry, I'm not having that. Sorry, I was just sitting here. I was like, wait, that's what I was thinking in my head the whole time. I was like, I want someone to go, bruv. Brighton have played 28 league games this season. They scored 26 goals. This game epitomized why they have that statistic. Because they get to the final third, and when they should be whipping the ball into the far post or trying to find more play when he makes a run,
they're trying to walk it in.
They're not finding him. When they've got the ball out wide with, I don't know, whoever you want to pull out there, Trossard or whoever, he's trying to put the ball in. Welbeck, Morpay, all of them. No one's making moves. The reason why they're struggling to score goals is because, quite frankly, their strikers suck.
Yeah.
That's the simple part to get. They get credit for playing nice football, and what they're good at is passing from the goalkeeper to the midfielders. When they go up front, they're very confused. That to me is a waste of time.
The final third is the problem for them.
I need to go down. That's all I'm saying. And the reason why I'm saying I dislike teams with zero ambition in the league. Whereas like
zero,
you're there for 2-3 years. Like purchase some decent players and try and push on. Brighton do not want to do that whatsoever, and I'm sick and tired of it. Like, what is a great manager? I think he's a very good manager personally with what he's doing there. He needs to leave and Brighton needs to go down. That's my personal opinion.
Yo, Jesus.
I would not miss them. I agree, but I would not miss them. Put them and Burnley out of this league and I would not miss any of them. I miss Stoke more than I would miss Burnley. Yeah.
That's fair.
Jesus.
That's my truth. That's my truth. Anyway, sorry, Kel, I interrupted. Please continue.
You miss those rainy days.
I do.
You miss those rainy
Cold
days.
Tuesday nights in Stoke. You know what I'm saying? I'm cold Tuesday nights.
Missing Roy Delap and those long throws, man. Don't worry, Kieran Tierney's got it. We'll leave the best 2 games for last. We're gonna go to West Ham here. 2-1 beating Aston Villa. Goals from Andriy Yarmolenko, Pablo Fornals, and Jacob Ramsey at the final minutes of the game. Pretty much, it took West Ham a while to get control of the game. I thought Villa could have held out for a bit longer, but they didn't eventually, Kojo. And to be honest, it was the quality of goals from West Ham were absolutely superb. So go through Yarmolenko's goal. Let's start with that one.
Yeah, no. What was great about his goal was how he took it so quickly. I'm a fan of someone once you get the ball into the box, not giving the goalkeeper time to settle, not giving the defenders time to react. You just take the control of the ball and you just know what you want to do with it straight away. And his experience showed in that scenario. I think the West Ham fans were worried, obviously, because Antonio got injured very early in the game. That was bound to happen because he's the only striker they have. Yeah. But Yarmolenko came off the bench and he actually sort of made them a bit more fluid going forward, which was nice to see. So they were creating a bit more chances, a bit more clear-cut chances. Declan Rice was running the show in the midfield. He was dominating Aston Villa's midfield. So, yeah, it was well played by West Ham. But that goal was a special goal. And, of course, obviously, it meant a lot to him, considering what's going on in his homeland at the moment with Ukraine. So, Yeah, nice goal for him. I think confidence booster as well because his first league goal in I think like 2 years or something.
I mean, a lot of West Ham fans have been on his neck as well. They wanted him to be sold real quickly, but now he seems to be saving them and continuing the fight for the top four.
Exactly, and every goal's going to mean something at this stage of the season because like last year, we spoke about how they were pretty much one of the favourites for the top four at some point, and they fell off, which is not a shame for West Ham because they were never expected to be in a Champions League spot last season anyway. And this season, the fact that they've even continued to fight for Europe is testament to the management of the squad from David Moyes. So, yeah, every goal's going to count. Use as many bodies as possible. If Yarmolenko's fit and ready to go, use him. Don't be afraid to use Bowen as a striker. You got Fornals, Lanzini. You got options, Ben Rama, so you can't be afraid to use these players.
Fair play. I mean, Flawless, will go to you. West Ham, they've got Sevilla in midweek, Thursday the 17th, I believe it is. So, I mean, Antonio's injured. Not looking great for them, but do you think that if they go out of Europe this week, it helps them in the long run? If it assists their Champions League ambitions, would you say it does?
If I'm them, maybe, because people look at that. I think people look too deep into that. Like, yes, that one game a week can help, but also the momentum of being in European competition. If I'm West Ham, why are you not looking at the Europa League? Like, you can debate which one you want to prioritize, but not only is it winning the European trophy, it also gets you into the Champions League next year if you win it. Why would you not look at that? Like, to me, and I'm not sure of the teams who are left in Europa League, but we know West Ham are a good side. We've seen it throughout this entire season. We've seen David Moyes do this in the past as Everton sides for those that are old enough to remember. So if I'm them, maybe you do target the Europa League. Why would you not want European success rather than finish fourth? You can debate which one you think is tougher. But if I'm Moyes, do I prioritize the Europa League? Why not? Why not? Because what round are they currently in now, is it? I know the Europa League's alone.
Was this the last 16?
But what round is it? It's the last 16 now.
Yeah, last 16.
So if they get through this, they're into the quarter. So you're into the final 8. Yeah. And if you get a favorable draw, depending on what teams are left, why would you not? Like, I don't think there's any team in the Europa League that's like, yeah, we want to play West Ham. They're not the team you're picking out of the hat and being like, yeah, they're an easy walkthrough. So if I'm them, if I'm West Ham, if I'm a West Ham fan, why would you not? Would you rather go win the Europa League and get into the Champions League or finish top 4? Like, go win the Europa League. Go. A lot of these players wouldn't have won anything in Europe, as far as I know. Maybe there's one or two in there that I'm sleeping on. But yeah, go win. Go prioritize the Europa League.
I think Kurt Zouma.
Yeah, maybe Kurt Zouma. It's like, yo, go prioritize the Europa League. Go win that European trophy. West Ham fans would love that. I'm not sure of their European history. And then you get into the Champions League alongside that.
Total Cup, big man. That's what they want.
There we go. Into Total Cup. That's what I'm saying. So they have pretty much as much European legacy as Arsenal. It's like, why not go win? You know what I'm saying? The cup. And then you good.
Excuse you?
I'm saying if they win the Europa League, they've matched Arsenal in Europe.
We won, thank you very much, the precursor to UEFA Cup. So I haven't that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you won the UEFA Cup, so that's why I said matched. If they go and win the Europa League, them and Arsenal are now that level, in it.
Wait, hold on. When did Arsenal win the UEFA Cup? Sorry,
the precursor. Precursor.
Something like that. They've got one European trophy. They do have one European trophy.
You're right, but that precursor was not. That's not a precursor to UEFA Cup. That's a cup that's been discontinued.
Cup Winners' Cup.
The Cup Winners' Cup.
The Cup Winners' Cup. That was it. Yeah, it wasn't the UEFA Cup. It was Cup Winners.
No, big man.
Let's not playing things out there.
Big man. Check on. Go. You're on your laptop right now. Go on FM. Okay. Go on FM and then see Euro Cup next to us today. That's what it is, big man.
I'm seeing it. Yeah.
You're going to say argue Miles Jacobs, isn't it? He's the one that said UEFA Cup.
That's why I said matched, didn't it? Like, because West Ham would have one European Cup, Arsenal would have one European Cup. Props to a minute. So they'd be joint third in London, you know what I'm saying, in terms of European legacy. So, like, why would you not go and do that?
Yeah.
Basil? They ain't winning it, though, are they?
No.
No. Basil, if they overturn it against Sevilla, what are you saying? If they beat Sevilla?
No.
What's the score from the first leg? What's the score from the first leg?
1-0 Sevilla.
Okay, so that can be over.
They got to go back to West Ham,
Yeah,
Thursday.
Plus, there's no away goals either, so that fires in their favor as well with the no away goals rule. So,
I mean, let's Let's get up the UEFA Cup. I got that in the brain. That's how old I am. I'm calling it UEFA bloody Cup. Europa League. So the teams that are still in there that probably pose a threat: Barcelona, Atalanta, Betis are doing quite well. Leon, Leipzig. Oh wait, yeah, Leipzig's still in there as well. So, out of those teams, do you think West Ham stands a chance?
I don't know a lot about all those teams left because I'm not following them like that. But do West Ham have a chance? Yeah, simply just because of the level they are at. Like I said, we see them pretty much week in, week out. They're competing for the top 4 in the Premier League for a reason. And we've seen David Moyes do this before. Like, this is just his Everton side just rebranded. The profile of the player is the same. The system still works. That's why you have to credit David Moyes. If you look at his Everton side in the past, this West Ham side is the same. It's the exact same. Like, they play very similar brands of football. The player profiles is the exact same as well. You can literally go back and match it. So, yeah, West Ham, like I said, nobody's looking at West Ham and going, yeah, that's an easy tie. 100%.
Fair play. Cool. Let's move on from West Ham to the biggest team in London, Arsenal, to Leicester City 0.
Boy, that's my Champions League twice, but we move. Let's go.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter. We are Arsenal. Nobody's invincible here apart from Arsenal, so it is what it is.
Some of us are European winners.
Are you invincible? Is your Premier League gold? That's the question.
You missed the final.
I said it's your Premier League gold, you know.
Gold.
My cousin's here singing
That little toppy wrap trophy, you know. Like, what is it?
Whoa.
I'm not even.
Yo. I'm braced for this, yeah. I'm actually braced for this. If Liverpool win the quad this season, Arsenal fans are still going to try and make the quad versus Invincible kind of debate.
Yeah, the Invincible is still trumps.
Yeah, they make the Invincible versus the trebles, not your imaginary quad. You know what I'm saying? They make something that we actually did. You know what I'm saying? They're actually something that we did, and we know what it is. You know what I'm saying? In that.
No, I'm saying if we
yeah, I'm saying it, but I'm saying they make that up something we actually did. They try and compare Invincible to the treble. Yeah, it's like, yo, we know it.
Until you go a whole season unbeaten, no one can talk to us.
Hey, give me 3 trophies over 1, but here we are. Just saying.
I hear that, boy. Hey.
Give me 49 games unbeaten over 1 in there. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, different strokes for different folks, innit? You know what I'm saying?
What I'm gonna say is I'm so happy Rooney dived.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Props to Rooney.
Props to Rooney. Oh man, we'll go back to it. But no, Basil, I'm gonna go to you as the Arsenal fan here. Goals from Thomas Partey, Alexander Lacazette as well from the penalty spot. Now I'm going to focus on the positivity here because you're bringing negativity. And I don't understand why with the it's I don't know if it's handball or not, but bro, just keep it positive right now. We're enjoying our football right now, playing some decent ball, reminiscent of a certain Arsene Wenger, I would say as well. But positivity, Basil. Very good performance from Arsenal, correct?
No, 100%. Like I said, I've been surprised. Some of the performances in this season haven't been great, but we've got the result.
Positivity, Basil. Positivity.
No. But credit to Arteta.
Like, keep going, Basil, in it. Don't let him stop you in it. Whatever you want to talk about, you talk about in it. This is free. Yeah, free midfield is you are freedom of speech here.
No, credit to him. He seems to be getting a tune out of these players. And honestly, I can't see how we slip up top 4 because United, who are closest to us, we have 4 games and obviously now 3 games in hand over them. And like I said, all we need to do is just keep winning at least one of them to still be in pole position. I can't see how we throw it away with that many games in hand because by the time we've completed those games in hand, there'll probably be about 5-6 games left in the season. So we should have a decent amount of points above like the likes of West Ham, United and Tottenham. So I can't see us throwing away top 4. But like I said, excellent result once again by Arsenal. Looks like Arsenal are coming back home. That's all I can say. We're coming back home. Unfortunately, we're going to be the ones hearing that theme song. United, I'm not sure about them, if I'm being brutally honest.
No, they'll hear the theme song, the flute version, though. That's the theme. That's
my thing, yeah. Allow that. Don't come in.
That's what you're going to be hearing very, very soon, big man. But no, man, Basil, you brought it up. Let's go there. Was it handball? I'm saying yes.
No, it was definitely a handball. What I was saying is, I was 100% a handball. I was just surprised the referees gave it to us because, as we said, there's an agenda against Arsenal with these refs. So the fact that they gave it to us was a surprise to me, but it was definitely a handball. Definitely a handball.
I mean, there are players that are playing some beautiful stuff right now, but the player I'm going to focus on is Arsenal's Player of the Month, Kojo, Thomas Partey. He's shown up. The Ghanaian has actually shown up for the past month, and this game he showed why he's worth every penny.
Before I praise him for Arsenal, what I'm going to say is if he does these performances for you guys and then does nothing for Ghana, I'm going to be very, very mad.
Hey,
but anyway,
boy, let's not get into that one.
Anyway, Partey was brilliant. He's reading the game. He's reading of the games now, starting to show. His composure in the midfield, the pitch is starting to show. So he's even making someone like Xhaka look decent in his role. And I think that's key because obviously him being the aim being for him to be one of your mainstays in your midfield. I don't know, obviously, if Arteta's that big a fan of Xhaka, that Xhaka goes, further forward with the Arsenal or not. His role is so key to that midfield, and he's also the main reason why someone like Odegaard is enjoying so much. Odegaard looks fantastic, and that's not me taking anything away from Odegaard. I'm not saying Odegaard is good because of Partey, but Partey plays a key role in Odegaard being able to continue to go forward and stay forward and control the game and play make with Saka and Martinelli, Smith Rowe when he's playing as well. So things are looking good for Arsenal, and Partey has a big part to play in that. So yeah, kudos to him. Good header. I was a bit annoyed with the defending because it's a free header. Doesn't matter who it is. I've seen Patrice Evra score headers, and those were free also. So if he's going to score headers, I'm sure Partey can get onto the back of the net as well. It seems like he's slowly, starting to find his shooting boots again because he had that effort that hit the bar as well, which was really, really good as well.
No,
Listen, bro. I've been very used to
getting closer to the target. That's not finding shooting boots,
bro. Usually his shots land in Kotakot Airport. So right now, the fact that he hit the crossbar is really nice. Let's bask in that for a while. You know what I'm saying? So no, look, it's good. Good play for Arsenal as well. Good win. I can only say good things about that. All I'll say to Basil is those 3 games you have are really tough.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna do it.
I'm not trying to discount it because, for example,
we'll do Liverpool first, and everyone else will
look at this guy. To be fair, I've been telling Alex, my cuz, that I think you're gonna beat Liverpool. So I even sort of agree with that. But those games are still very difficult, and if you are to slip up against some teams in this league, they're the top teams. So if you win them, fantastic for you guys, but let's see how it goes first.
I'll say this, Kojo, right? There's no excuse for us not to get top 4. And the reason why I say this, right, is that everyone's waxed lyrical about Arteta. And I'm like, if he's that good with the game advantage he has to get top 4, because if he doesn't, then I'm sorry, the jury has to be out. So I'm like, well, if he's as good as what people say, there is no excuse for him not to get top 4 with the position that Arsenal are in, because he's got an advantage over everyone else. And if you're that good, you take advantage of, the position you're in. So that's the reason why I'm quite confident. And I'm like, well, this should be telling as to whether he should stay on as the manager or not. Because if he doesn't get top 4, he has to be out the door immediately. Immediately.
You sounded very Arteta out.
No, listen, I'm giving him an opportunity. That's the thing. I'm still not fully convinced, but I'm like, you know what? I should give a guy praise when he does well. And he's doing well, so I can only give him praise. So I'm sorry, if he's as good as what people say he is, then he has to consolidate this and get the top 4. No excuses, unfortunately.
And I think with that idea of the whole Arteta out thing, I especially after the seasons that we've had, finishing back-to-back top 8. Top 8.
Let's go, man. Hey, let's go. I like how positives, man. That is positives. Top 8. Let's go, man.
I don't know where that top came from.
I respect it, man. Top 8. Let's go.
Absolutely, we finished 8th. So it's definitely contractual. I feel like he has to hit a certain objective in order for a lot of Arsenal fans to be behind him. To be honest with me, I think the only team that we can, or if we were to finish behind anyone, the only team that I would accept would be Manchester United because of the firepower that they have. available to them with Pogba, with Ronaldo, and we're gonna get to him later. Sancho, Fernandez, you know all the players. That's the only team I can say. You know what?
Yeah, because think of it like this, right? Obviously, we won our game. Now we're ahead of them by 2 points, right? We still got 3 games in hand over them. There's 9 goals. So I wouldn't even accept United finishing above us just because we have that game advantage. And they're so inconsistent. So I'm like, well, if they do, it looks bad on us rather than United did well.
I can see that point, but I feel like if we're going in order to get top 4 from this stage, I feel like we're going to have a near perfect run. And the only slip ups that we can have are the games in hand. So the Liverpools, the Chelseas. Yeah. I don't know who else is our other game. Spurs. Spurs, of course. No, we'll beat Spurs. But no, I feel like they're the only games that we can slip up.
No, I think you, man, have got it unlocked, to be honest. I have to be real, like, you know what it is? It's like,
Mr. Man, like, telling you that, yeah? Let me fill you with confidence. Go on, fam.
Yeah, like, I think Arsenal can drop points, innit? Like, I think Arsenal could drop points and have a few dodgy results. But at the end of the day, it's not. I don't see United and Spurs being good enough to capitalize on that and put a brilliant run together themselves to be able to capitalize on Arsenal dropping points. So that's the thing. Even if Arsenal drop points in quite a few games, it's not as if the teams around them are anything special that they can go on a run to overturn that gap. So like that's why I think Arsenal kind of got it unlocked, to be honest.
I mean, to a few of those points. I mean, if you look at the form table, which has been Arteta's positive from those previous seasons as well. Once we hit January, we really start to kick into form. I think the only team that we have been behind for the past 2 seasons in terms of the form table was Manchester City. And they obviously went on to be champions, I think, 2 years in a row now? No,
they won it last year and we won it
just last year. So, yeah, Manchester City. And now this year, we're on top of the form table as it currently stands. I think the past 10 games, we've got 8 wins and 2 defeats.
We've won the last 10 games.
Have we won the last 10 games?
No, actually, no, you're right.
No, so Arsenal,
I remember you drew to Burnley.
You're right.
So when it comes to the form table, I think the points obviously before your win was secured, and
the last 10 games you got 25 points.
And that's the same as Liverpool and City. Obviously, City played today, so it would be 28 if City win their game. So yeah, your form is matching the 2 top sides in the country currently, which is, I mean, that's kudos. I mean, you can't disrespect that. That means you're in form, but it just means that you have to maintain the form. Because if you can maintain the form and keep it going, then that means maybe you can do something special maybe the next year. So that's just positive signs right now. But you don't want to have a collapse. If you have a collapse, then there's going to be problems. So yeah,
I'll be missing until next season.
That's what I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll literally, you're literally pretty much best homies with my cousin. I'll just call and say, "Yo, it's Basil." He'll direct me to you straight away. Straight away. Don't worry, I'll find you. Will you film me for podcast from your house? I'll sit next to you.
I'll literally go listen to next meeting. Won't hear from you.
I think Ryan needs to go as well.
Yeah, man, I need to jet now, innit? But so yeah, big up all you guys. Big up for having me on. Yeah.
Raiyaan, you don't want to stay and put some praise on Ronaldo's name, no? What's that?
Nah, you're all right, man. Yeah, I need to go now anyway. Got some work to do, innit? Big up yourselves, man. Take care, yeah.
Bless up, Ryan. Big up.
And then there were 4, and boy, we'll talk about that Manchester United game now. I guess we have to. 3-2 to Manchester United. Hat-trick from CR7 himself after a massive goal drought. He ends it with a hat-trick. You can't make it up, man. And 2 goals from one from the penalty spot from Harry Kane, and the 2 Harrys scoring for Tottenham. Harry Maguire scoring their 2nd goal. Let's start with the positives though. Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he's now the FIFA record goal scorer. I think since they started taking tallying goals, so he's the record goal scorer now. I think there's a whole bunch of numbers all floating around the place. I think Pele claims to have scored like 1,000, Eusebio 1,000, but this is the official list. He's the top goal scorer now, FIFA records. What's your thoughts on that, Kojo?
It's incredible, man. I mean, obviously I haven't seen the 5 goals from Sporting. I've seen like 2 of them on YouTube. So I haven't seen those goals. But it's crazy to think that ever since he joined Man United, I think everyone here has seen pretty much all his goals essentially, and that's insane that we saw a young 18-year-old hit the Premier League, and then just his goal scoring has become better year after year after year. And he became a machine. Went to Real Madrid. History. Just
he disagrees so much that he's.
All right, let him go, man. Let him go, man. It's just an incredible record, man. To reach the top of all goal scorers, like not just your league or this league, or all goal scorers, top goal scorer in Real Madrid history as well. He's a phenomenal man.
He smokes Raul, boy.
He left him in the dust, man. And it's crazy to think that, he's now come back to United at this age and he's still adding more goals, no problem. He's still the main man. He's obviously the difference maker because you saw the 3 goals. The 3 goals were quality. Obviously, the second one was a tap in, but the play was nice, finding Sancho and then obviously the ball as well. But the thing about him is he was doing things that I don't know if Flawless will agree that our previous strikers after Van Persie and maybe Falcao weren't doing, running into the box and trying to get onto the edge of the ball, to the ball straight away. That's your Zlatans, who, because of age, he wasn't doing that too tough, but he waited to do it, but he wasn't doing too much. And Martial, who isn't an instinctive striker. So to have someone like that, like Ronaldo again on our books, and for him to be scoring goals, and he's with that hat trick, he's now even, I think, joint second top goal scorer in the league as well. So despite that drought, yeah, because he's got 12 goals. I think Salah's obviously number 1, and then it's like Vardy and others. So even with that tells you, despite that drought, no one was matching his goal scoring, and he's come back and he's got a hat trick. So it's beautiful to watch. I'm just happy that he's obviously one of our guys, and yeah, man, create more history, my friend.
I mean, on that, Salah's got 20, Mane's got 12, Jota 12, Ronaldo 12, Kane 11, Son 11. Blimey. But anyway, Flawless, the floor is yours, man. Manchester United 3. Can't complain, especially when you're. I would say that Tottenham were the better team on the day, but when you have Cristiano Ronaldo, man.
Yeah, that's the talent. Yeah, like, because he's still talented. Is Ronaldo once what he wants? Is he what he once was? No, absolutely not. But does he still have talent and can impact games? Absolutely, and we're seeing that. But the first and the third goal is incredible. You know what I'm saying? The long range strike and also the great header as well. And Kojo touched on the great movement for the second goal, which was more of a team goal. So yeah, like I didn't watch the game in full, but I watched the extended highlights. I still need to catch the game in full. It was just vitally important we picked up the 3 points because of the top 4 race, again, because it was against Spurs. And had we even drew that game, Spurs do have a couple of games in hand on us as well, as we spoke on Arsenal's as well. So getting the win was important, especially after the Manchester City defeat, and especially with Atletico Madrid coming up as well. And it was good to see Ronaldo back on the scoring sheet, and hopefully he can continue to score goals. Sancho continues to go from strength to strength. I'm hearing that midfield was a little, even though Pogba wasn't good, that the midfield was a little bit better and a little bit more structured with Fred and Matic in there. And I do like those two together. It's not the greatest options. Yeah, I keep hearing Fred was fantastic, even the flick round the corner for the Ronaldo first goal as well. And I think Matic can enable Fred to, they can get the best out of each other, because what one lacks, the other one has. So I think it's the best balance in terms of the options we have, because I'm not trying to see McTominay in there. It's good to see Dalot and Telles playing as well, because I'm a big fan of those two as fullbacks. I've seen obviously Dalot cleared one off the line. Telles obviously with the great delivery for Ronaldo's third as well. So it's good to see those two back in. Varane is just Varane, so he's always going to be of a certain quality, and Maguire's always going Maguire. Even though he was unlucky for the own goal, it just had to be you. But yeah, just more pleased with the win. It's not really about performances, because with this United team, we're going to play well in parts. That's us. We're not going to play well from first minute to 90. You might get a whole half performance. You might get first half, which we've done, and then we've tailed off in the second half of games as well. But just pleased with the win. Vitally, but that was the most important thing. We had to win that game. Otherwise, it makes top four even tougher.
I mean, let's talk about those mistakes. We got the positivity out of the way. Let's talk. Actually, no, let's keep on the positivity, because we haven't even talked about the specifics of those Ronaldo goals. So that first one, goal of the season potentially.
It's a contender. Whether it wins, don't know, but it's a damn
race.
Yeah, it's a damn good goal. Look, we all know he's got it already. We know he can strike from range. So when he took those touches, in my head, obviously me being more of a defense first kind of guy, I was looking at Eric Dyer and I was like, Ronaldo's right in front of you, right? You do recognize the best thing to do right now is just try and get in front of the ball.
Oh my God.
He took a step back and then put his arms behind his back and turned the other way to where the ball was going as well. Just pathetic defending, but the strike was just superb because it's still from range and the power, the direction. Hugo Lloris is a good goalkeeper. You have to beat him as well. So yeah, no, it's a quality goal. But it's what you expect as well. It's crazy to say that because footballers shouldn't be expected to do all the crazy things all the time, but that's what he can do, and he's been doing it. And despite his age, he keeps doing it. So yeah, brilliant goal.
And then obviously there's the second one, like you mentioned before, brilliant play. Who I think it was Telles that made the pass.
Matic.
Matic made the pass to Jadon Sancho, was it? Yeah, and then I mean, Reguilon just poor defending. He tried to play the offside trap, didn't quite get it to work, but is what it is sometimes. But boy, let's get to the negativity, Basil. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Let's talk
smiling, like some evil villain.
He's smiling. He's grinning. He's grinning. From ear to ear like a chest.
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you smiling as you're saying that. That's me. I'm talking about you. I'm
just speaking truth right now. You mentioned Alex Telles, but big man, did you see how far out his hands was for the penalty? It's like,
it was. That's on him.
Yeah,
that's on him. It was a Stonewall penalty, but he rectified that with the Ronaldo one. So it's kind of like, all right, cool. And I've seen Luke Shaw make mistakes for the past 8 years. So I give Telles a little bit more leeway because I know what he can do going the other way, and he's proved and he's shown that. He has shown that. He's been a great outlet. Like, I want to see Telles and Delors as our fullbacks for like the rest of the season at least. And if we go and try and improve on those in the summer, cool. But I'm not trying to see Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. No.
Never again.
No. Never, ever. No.
Fair play, man. But there is a lot of negativity surrounding Harry Maguire, but I don't think he could have done anything else in that situation. Obviously, trying not to score an own goal is a good option, but he has to make the tackle there.
No,
yes, he does.
I'm not laying you off that, Cahill. The reason why I'm saying that is because he was defending space. There's a difference between if he was pressured with another player and he does that,
I agree.
I get it. But there was zero pressure for him. It was by himself, which for me was a problem in itself. But then it's like, well, if you're by yourself and there's no real pressure around you, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for you to put that ball into the back of your net when you don't have pressure around you. And for me, it just epitomizes Harry Maguire that he has zero clue as to what is around him. His awareness, his just ability as a defender is just diabolical. And I don't know how he keeps getting away with it and still starting week in, week out for United. And every time England play, he's their number one defender. It's ridiculous. How many lives does this man have as a defender for both club and country? It's honestly, I'm sick and tired of it. Like, I watched it and I was like, it's just poor. There's no, like, for me, a good defender is aware as to what is around him, composes himself to make sure that if he sticks out a leg, it goes up for a corner. But he's so erratic in his defending that there's no composure in him whatsoever. So he panics. And that's the reason why that ball goes into the back of the net. Because like I said, if there's a player beside him, pressurizing him, I give him leeway. I say, you know what? It happens. But then it's like, he's looked around, there's no one around him, and he's panicked with sticking out his foot because he just has no clue as to what he's doing in that position. I'm gonna
try to be nice to him. I'm gonna try.
No chance.
Is that not down to him just having a zero confidence right now in his own ability? Yes, there's the
at United.
He shouldn't have done that. He should not have done that. But
that's where it stems from, is doing the things like that. Like, because the actual position he's in for the cross isn't the worst. Sorry to cut you off. Like, he's not, and he has to try and intercept the cross. Because if he lets the cross go and somebody scores, well, like, why did you not slide to intercept it? It's just, hey, it had to be you. If anyone else scores that own goal, it's not really a conversation like that. But because it's him, it just makes it that much worse because it's Harry Maguire. Everything that is currently going wrong could go wrong. That's where he's at, and he does have zero confidence.
That guy did a dummy in his box last week against City.
That's unforgivable. That's unforgivable.
I
don't want to see him.
Sorry.
That's cool.
I don't think he has zero confidence because judging by that celebration he did for England, I feel like he's saying, I can hear you, keep talking louder. I know about myself.
That was months ago right now.
No, fam. Kojo, you know what that is? That's a desperate man. That's what that is, isn't it? He brought a rock to a gunfight and he threw the rock. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? He brought a rock to a gunfight and he threw the rock. That's what he did. He had nothing left. Word to my guy Eddie who gave me that analogy. That's what it is. That was his chance. He threw the rock.
I hear that. I guess the reason why I'm so hard on him anyway, I'll go into that. The reason I'm so hard on him is because
I'm sorry, that's amazing.
that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Yeah, shout out my guy Eddie for that. I gotta give him full credit. Big on my guy Eddie. He said that.
He's the most protected player in the squad. And what I mean by that is when he first joined Man United, obviously Paul Merton's infamous rant on him saying he's not worth £80 million, all of that. I think we all agree with that anyway. There's no issue with saying that. Nothing wrong with that. But ever since then, Paul Merton himself as well has been saying stuff like, we have to center our player around him and protect him at all costs. And I'm like, well, he's the captain and he's supposed to be, that means he's captain. You're supposed to be the leader of the team on the pitch. So you're not supposed to be the most protected. You're supposed to be doing the protecting. And more importantly, you're supposed to be protecting our backline and our goalkeeper. You're not doing that. You haven't done that properly for a while. You haven't had a good run of form from Man United. Do you have a good Euros? Debatable. I think it was decent. Some people say it was good. Fair enough. Either way, it wasn't a negative performance. But you are easily by far the most protected because even when it comes to stuff about when you're not performing, it's about things on the pitch. And obviously minus what happened in Greece, allegedly. And
they did a whole campaign for the brother when he came back.
This is what I'm saying because I hate banging the Pogba drum, but the fact is, Anelka came out and said the reason why he's thinking about leaving United is because not about the criticism about football, but it's about everything personally. Maguire, as soon as he gets something personally, as you said, a campaign to get him back and look after him, and he's protected on a huge scale. So for me, it's like, well, if you're protected like that, and on top of that, you wear the armband for one of the biggest clubs in the country, my expectation of you is going to be ridiculously high. I expect you to be leading by example and to be dropping us minimum 7 out of 10 performances in at least 30 out of 38 games. I think that's fair. But he's not done that. So that's why he gets the most criticism. That's why he is protected so much by the others as well, because they want to look after him because he's an England international. He gets away with too much. And funnily enough, he was decent against Spurs, but it's these comical errors that he's making that are just not, that I can't accept them. As Basil said it, he's in space. Why the hell are you doing that? You don't need to do that. Be aware of where you are, but he's not been aware of his defending for a long time now. That's why he marks Luke Shaw. That's why he marks Wan-Bissaka. And that's why he keeps making these silly errors. So until he cuts that out of his game, we're on his neck. Because if the media ain't going to do it, but they're going to do for other players, then we'll do it for him as well.
He's just not good enough. That's legit what it is. Like, it's not like, does obviously confidence play a part? 110%. Could you get a little bit more out of him if he was confident? But we're seeing his deficiencies because you are under the spotlight because you play for Manchester United Football Club. And when you start for United week in, week out, you're bought for a high price. You're the captain. You are under the spotlight each and every week. And we've seen his deficiencies. You can list off his mistakes. And even not every time he makes a mistake, it leads to a goal. But more often than not now, it does lead to, because even when he's dummied the ball against Manchester City, there's 2 mistakes before that. But everyone's going to focus on you because you've been making mistakes previously. And he's just not good enough. And he needs to, we were talking about Lukaku earlier. It's not, Lukaku is much better than Maguire is in terms of level. But Maguire's in that bracket where United need to cut their ties. They need to just cut their ties and take the hit and let him go because he's not it.
I've always said this right about Maguire. I think he should be. He can be a decent United squad player, not a starter. A squad player where
like 4th, 5th choice, yeah.
Yeah, like playing a few games. But the issue is that they spent 80 million on him, so he can never be a squad player. But then the thing that's annoying me, even the likes of Gary Neville too. Every year, I've always said this: when United are talking about strengthening, I've always said they needed 2 centre backs. They've always said, "Oh, you need someone to partner Maguire." I said, "No, you've needed someone to replace Maguire because he's never been good enough." That's one thing that people haven't realised, and you're seeing now the mistakes are still happening with Maguire because no one has realised that from the day this guy's walked in, he's never been good enough for United, and that's why I like Chelsea. Chelsea are ruthless. You come in after 8 months to a year, you haven't done well, we're replacing you. Simple. Because if it was another club who had bought Werner for 50 million. They all said, we need to make it work. Just like, no chance. We go buy another striker. They'll probably do the same with Lukaku. Hasn't done well for us. We're going to buy another. Obviously, things have changed now because Roman isn't there. But if Roman was still there, guess what they would have gone and done? Bought themselves another striker.
Yep.
Like, look how many midfielders they bought in the summer after winning the Champions League. There's like, it doesn't matter what we have. If we can get better, we get better. It doesn't matter what we spend on this player. If we can get better, we get better. And that's the mentality United need, because City are doing it too, Chelsea are doing it, and that's the reason why we're up there and we'll always challenge. Because sometimes clubs like Arsenal and United take too long with some of the players they have and think, it's going to work at some point. And it just doesn't, unfortunately.
Always trying to save face and stuff like that. Like, wow, you mentioned Chelsea there. They got the most expensive backup goalkeeper in the world. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? People do that. Like, people sweep under the rug Kepa's price tag and that. You know what I'm saying? They got the most expensive backup goalkeeper who's just there for penalty shootouts. Like, legit. He's there for shootouts. That's all he's there for. Shootouts, Carabao Cup games, the occasional FA Cup game. Or if Mendy's at AFCON. That's all he's there for, legit. And nobody mentions that because, like you said, they want to win. Like, it's all a PR thing. If Maguire is 80 million, it has to be third, fourth choice. So be it. You know what I'm saying? Just take the hit. It's okay to make mistakes. Because if you win trophies, nobody's going to care. That's not a talking point at Chelsea because they win trophies consistently.
Exactly. People forget Pulisic cost about 50-something million too. He's not a consistent starter in that squad.
True. But again, when you win Champions League, nobody cares.
Who cares?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
To sum up on Maguire, you got Ahmed Mohammadi, who used to play with at Wolves. Hull, saying I played with Maguire. I can tell you right now, he's not level. He's not at the level to be a Man United captain, let alone player.
Jesus. Look at the way Van der Vaart did him. You know what I'm saying? Van der Vaart called it. Van der Vaart called it.
Van der Vaart calls him shit. Like,
that's disrespectful.
Van der Vaart is like, he's not having it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like Van der Vaart. Like, when somebody, I can't remember who he was with, and he compared Werner to Van Persie, and he was like, if you do that again, I'm gonna leave. I'm walking out. He was like, I'm gonna leave. It's like, don't do that. I can't remember who it was, but somebody did it. This is recent as well. It's more recent than the Maguire one. And he was like, we're not doing this. He was like, no. He was like, Carly, I'll try to find the clip. I'm sure it's probably circulated. Like, don't do that.
I need to see that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he was
That's
just
amazing.
Like, this is not what we do.
How close is Elena? You know, Michael?
I don't think she's gonna make it. She messaged the free midfield account. They've kept her late. I told her to let us know when she's on the way, but I've got no notification, so I think we'll leave it there.
All right.
I might invite her. I'll invite her on next week. I think.
All right, cool. But we do have to speak about Spurs.
Spurs fans get away with this. Ridiculous.
We can't let Spurs get away with it because I do think that they had most of the possession. They had more than enough opportunity to win this game, but they just win final third. They were lacking. Son had a bad game. Kulusevski had a bad game by the standards that he's shown in recent weeks. I mean, let's talk about the performance. And I mean, your favorite topic, Coach, you're defending. You mentioned Maguire. Not sorry, Maguire. You mentioned Eric Dyer backing off CR7, but I mean, the defending for the corner.
Bro,
it made me miss zonal marking. I was like, why are they doing zonal? It's like, what's going on here? Because that was awful man marking. They just to let someone like Ronaldo have a run on you is criminal. It's absolutely criminal.
Yeah. Quickly before we get onto that, Son, another big game missing. By the way, move. Anyway, Christian Romero, come on down. Right. So obviously, they get the keyword equalizer. He's screaming in the face of Maguire as if he's got the winner. Like at least Liam Ridgewell celebrated a Birmingham winner in 2009.
Why are you bringing up that for, big man?
What was that for?
You're taking shots at Man United earlier, fam. I'm coming. But no, look, the point you got back into the game and you were screaming in the face of your opposition player. That's appalling. To do that and to be absolutely bullied in the air by Ronaldo like that. And wasn't Ronaldo doing one of his like trademark leaps where he's so far in the air and you just can't get him? He just knocked you. he came out just knocked you out of the way and just bullied you and then got the header and it was 3-2 game over. And that pretty much epitomizes Tottenham as a whole because that's what Tottenham do. They scream in the opposition players and of other teams and tell us that they got Kane, they got Son.
Let me ask you, Coach, did something happen in the game between those two that sparked that?
No.
It seemed very strange. Like if they had like something that happened and then you do that, it makes more sense. It seemed just very random. Like I was confused by it, but we moved on.
Romero has history. So the thing is, I like him. I do like him as a defender. I think he's a good defender. He's aggressive on the ball, or coming at the ball anyway. He's not afraid to step out and make a challenge from his defense. But the thing about him is he's so fiery. He doesn't also recognize when he's culpable for making all these errors. And he did at Atalanta as well. Funny enough, he did against Juventus, and Ronaldo punished Atalanta that day as well. And he's done it again. And that's Atalanta, he's part of the reason as well. So as much as I like him, I wouldn't sign him up for Man United personally, but I do like him. But he's the reason why people like or teams like Atalanta and your Dortmunds, where you got players that you like, but they're not gonna really push you to where you need to get to when it comes to the key moment. When they're there and they're just gonna fall off. He was part of that. And funny enough, he's joined the team in England that does that better than anybody else. So, it's one of them ones where he's just sort of following his football heritage. That's his lifestyle. That's his legacy. And he did that in this game. He screamed in the face of Maguire. Funny enough, Maguire got the last laugh. When do you ever say that? Maguire should have done what Van Nistelrooy did to that guy years ago when the guy laughed at Van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy scored that goal and then went in front of him and went, yeah.
Should have did this, yo.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Done that, let me hit you again. Either way, look, the defending from him was poor. Dyer was terrible. Ben Davies was poor as well. I think he got a bit gassed after he scored the goal from it that was offside. Good run, good finish, but after that, he was a no-show. You can see what Conte is trying to do. I'll give Conte credit for what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
but he's not going to do it with this team. It's just
with this team. I understand that, but a few weeks ago we were criticizing Bielsa for not being able to adapt to the current situations, and that this Tottenham team, everybody under the sun knows he hasn't got the players to play the system that he wants to play. And his last 10 games in all competitions are go like this. They lost to Chelsea. Thank you, Basil. They beat Leicester. Wait, where am I? Yeah, then they lost to Chelsea again. Beat Brighton, lost to Southampton, lost to Wolves, beat City, lost to Burnley, beat Leeds, lost to Middlesbrough, beat Everton. Now they lost to Manchester United. The form and the quality of the manager aren't matching up right here.
No, you're right. You're right.
But we need to criticize Conte for a second. We have to forget what he done at Inter. We have to forget what he done at Juve, with all the match fixing and all that. Shout out to Jose.
I'm Mourinho for that one. No, you're right. No, I'm not trying to give him a buy.
We have to criticize Conte because the name and the stature aren't living up to the results right now.
No, you're right. I'm not trying to give him a buy. The reason why Bielsa got criticism is because Bielsa's philosophy has been bigged up so highly, and he's educated this guy, but he's come with very little accolades. Whereas at least with Conte, even with players like Darmian, I keep bringing that name up for a reason. He's managed to push them to another level, and he's got accolades with them. Victor Moses was another one as well, for example. But you're right. At Tottenham, he's trying to implement the 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, whichever way you want to see it. Even against Man United, he played a 5-4-1. So that was even a difference, which I found very odd. I don't know why he went for that approach, but nonetheless went for that approach, and it failed. He is, should I call him a one-trick pony? Maybe, because he sticks to the same formation. He wants to play his style of football, and that's the be-all and end-all. Like most managers, they have the philosophy, they don't deviate from it. But what I'm saying, when I say I can see what he's trying to do is because as much as he should get criticism for what he's doing, these Spurs players keep letting these guys down all the time. And is under different formations, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 3-4-3, 5-3-2. You can do a 10-1 for I care. They're bottlers. They're bottlers. And that's why I got into Son first, because Son is someone that gets a lot of praise for being highly inconsistent. Highly inconsistent. He's not even in the class of Nani, in my opinion.
You're a purple patch player.
Yeah, he is.
Exactly. If we're going to a proper patch player, we're going to call Son a proper patch player.
But Son's where he's at in terms of because it's Spurs, and it's like, yo, again, back to what I was talking about Maguire. Like, these players are just not that good. This is why you've seen Conte literally after games in tears. Like, maybe I'm not that good. Bear in mind, this is a serial winner in Conte who's won multiple trophies. And even he's like, yeah, these players ain't it. People forget when he originally landed this, he said the level of Spurs is not that high, which made me go, why would you go there? I don't know why, unless they tripled the bag after they came back to the second time, which is all right. So hold that. If you went there for the bag, cool, I'd do the same thing. But then understand what you are going into. Like, there's a reason. Just look at that Spurs side. What made you think you could go? What were you expecting to do? Be comfortably in the top 4, challenging for the league title? Like, that Spurs squad ain't it. So
it's probably got the same thoughts as Mourinho, because for me, they've signed 2 managers that have been known to win. Obviously, Mourinho's has struggled in recent years, but you've had 2 managers that have known how to win in the overall careers. Wow. And they've both come and told you that this team needs serious improvement.
With the Mourinho one, I get that more because that's of convenience. Like, Mourinho had to go to Spurs, and that's no disrespect to Mourinho's not getting a top job anymore in Europe. Whereas Conte, you're leaving Inter Milan as Serie A winner. You can go to another European country and get another top job where you should be competing. That's why the move didn't make no sense to me, especially after turning it down initially in the summer. And then you go with the money in it. Must be.
No, it was 100% the money. That's why I have zero sympathy for Conte, because it's like honestly, because he knows that all right, cool, I have a short contract with them. If I leave at the end of the contract, you get well paid. If they get rid of me before then, I get well paid. Which is why he did a press conference. He's trying to push their buttons to say, if things are, because as Conte does, he always has problems at all the clubs he's been at. So when he leaves clubs, it's never on good terms. So that's the reason why that interview is quite key, because he does it to let them know I'm unhappy. And so it's like, either you do something for me or you get rid of me and pay me the amount of money that I'm owed. So it's a chess game with him. But then it's like, it was ridiculous in the first, because I'm like, when the likes of Gary Neville were coming out, I said, oh, these teams are going to fear Tottenham. Like, after one game against, I can't remember who they, but maybe it was City they played. Or after one game saying they're going to fear Tottenham, Jamie O'Hara's going, we're back. I'm like, are you forgetting which club this is? What you're getting carried away after one game? Tottenham have always been the same. If it never worked with Mourinho, what on earth made them think it was going to work with Conte? Because they had a serial winner, they had a world-class manager, Mourinho, that ended up in failure. So what made people think that because Conte is there, it's going to change? I knew it was going to end like this. It's Tottenham, as you said. The players are just not good enough, and those owners do not want to invest in that club and change things there. They're looking for like the backdoor way to try and challenge and win things. And it's not going to work because there's too much quality in the league for you to do that. I mean, Tottenham, honestly, I can honestly say, hand on heart, they're just a joke of a club. I mean, Arsenal have their problems, but Tottenham are just a joke of a club.
There you go.
I think we'll finish it on that one. Thank you, Basil. I'll wrap it up there. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys.
Just a shame there's no Spurs fans on here.
It is a shame, but I'm pretty sure they're listening. Don't worry about it, Basil. Thank you guys for joining. But we end it there. So, Flawless, where can they find you, sir?
People on Twitter and Instagram, that's me, Flawless. You can find me there. And then obviously Sarcasm City TV as well, where we have multiple sporting content, Premier League watch-alongs, Champions League watch-alongs, NBA watch-alongs, sports Q&As, Manchester United content, Chelsea content, Arsenal, etc. So we go live every day, people. So you'll find content. And then obviously on the Twitch, we got pro clubs, GTA streams as well. So yeah, that's Sarcasm City TV on YouTube and Twitch, people.
Basil, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at BJ14. Get ready for when Arsenal finish top 4, because hey,
top 4 hype. Let's go, Basil. You know what I'm saying?
No. Listen, the top 4 is just a stepping stone for us to actually win the big European trophy in the next 2 to 3 years. You see, William was right when Arteta said that to him. He was onto something. They just got the time scores wrong. That's it.
Hey, Kojo, let it go. Kojo, let it go.
No. All I'm gonna say is he said that at 1 minute 23 and 50. So we're gonna remember that, yeah? Say this.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. 1 minute. That's right, Kojo. 1 minute 23.
1 hour. Allow me, fam. I was like, who's gonna catch on? Had to be you.
I'm just trying to save you, Basil. Don't worry about it, man. I got your back, fellow goon. I got your back, man. Kojo, where can they find us?
Yes, here on YouTube, Free Midfield Podcast, and then all the audio is Free Midfield. That's the number 3 Midfield. That's your SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And then finally, your social medias, also the number 3 in Midfield: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch. 3 in Midfield.
There we have it. Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Match Report. Good night.
Big up for you lot for having me as well. Appreciate it, man. Much appreciated. Love for having me in it. Big up, man.
Love, bro. See.